Thank you for joining me. I'm in the kitchen and I thought it would make a nice change to do a bit of cooking with you, well, baking. I'm having to sit down to do it because I'm a bit restricted with what I can do with my camera, so I'm not used to baking sitting down. But the reason why I am making this tray bake is I've been diagnosed some months ago now with being pre-diabetic. So there's a lot of things that I've cut out of my diet, the nice things to me, the sweet things. But there are ways of getting little treats into my diet that aren't too naughty. And this is one. There's lots of things that you can do on YouTube, and I've sort of combined bits from one, thrown in bits from another, and away I go. So starting off with, there's about 150 grams of oat flakes there. And as it's going to be a crunchy tray bake, I needn't pre-soak them. Then we have 2 ripe bananas, and they need to be really well mashed. Mash them up because these are going to provide the sweetness for you along with the other fruits that I'll be adding. But as part of my pre-diabetic thing, one of the changes in my diet has been to include more nuts, well, some nuts and seeds, things that I didn't used to include. So they will be thrown in as well. And it depends on what I've got in the fridge, what packets I've got half empty, what I use. But as far as nuts are concerned, they're great. They're healthy fats in them, and they have protein and minerals and fibres. They're good for us all, but they've shown that they can help drop the level, the development of type 2 diabetes. The best nuts are almonds, walnuts, pistachios and Brazil nuts. A mix of those. But it's best to avoid macadamia nuts or any sugar-coated or salted nuts, so either raw or dry roasted. So I now incorporate these into meals. I'll chop and throw seeds on a small helping of whole wheat cereal or porridge in the morning. And I also add to the baking as I'm doing here. So there we have 2 ripe bananas. I don't like to eat them as a fruit when they are ripe. So I buy some, eat some raw and save others for things like this. 1 egg. Whisked in. You don't need to go to any great lengths so long as it's just broken up. And it really is a fling in and go sort of dish. So whilst I'm on the prepping bit, my nuts of choice today are Brazil and walnuts. Sometimes I will put them through my little whizzy machine and make them quite fine. Or I will include ground almonds. But today I want chunky bits of nuts. Hence, I'm just doing a chop. And amazingly, none have gone flinging onto the floor yet. That's a first. They usually go flinging everywhere. Right, nearly there, because I want some in quite decent sized bits. There we are. I did wash my hands. I was a good girl. Choppity chop. There we are. And in my family, when I was growing up, nuts were a rarity, which is probably why I sort of never developed a liking for them. They came at Christmas. That was the only time I saw nuts in our house. Right, that's that. Sorted. Okay, so to help with raising, just a heaped teaspoon baking powder. And I'll put that in with those so that I can stir it in and it will mix well when I fling everything in. Right, there we are. The flinging begins. Ta-da! So in go the bananas and the egg. And I've not done a very good job of stirring in the baking powder, but it will happen when I stir it in here. And as I say, it's cut and come again, and the making is throw it in and see what happens. So in go the nuts. Ta-da! Seeds. Right. Oh, I'll have a few pumpkin seeds. Right. Flax. And sunflower. It's actually handy. My local Aldi sells mixed bags of seeds, which I find are handy to have in the cupboard. Give those a stir. And then the fruit. I really like using these, but I don't need to use them at present because I still have fresh strawberries aplenty. They are dried strawberries and they actually add a very nice texture and flavour to baking. But today I had a part container of, oh, there's a little bit of a stem, of blueberries. So I'll pop those in whole because I do like to sort of come across a whole blueberry when I'm eating this. Okay, and I've got cranberries now, similar colour to that. So as we want to eat the rainbow, we'll fling in some soft apricots. I'll just roughly chop these and in they go. But that eating the rainbow, that's a great way to make sure that you're getting a balanced diet, because the different coloured fruits and vegetables, they all have different nutrients in them. There we are, roughly chopped, handful. Stir those in. Now I sometimes add a drop of flavouring, or I grate in some nutmeg, or add a little bit of cinnamon, depending on what I fancy. But today I think I'm just going to leave it plain. Now that's looking for me a little bit squidgy, so I am going to add some more oat flakes. There's no right, there's no wrong. It comes out differently every time, and I like that as well. So there we are. I've got a pot of yoghurt there in case it turned out to be a dry mix, but it isn't, so I don't need to add it. But if it was looking a little bit dry, then I'd just put a bit of the fat-free yoghurt into it. Sometimes I will grate some of the sugar-free chocolate in, but I will save that for drizzling on the top. So, dish is ready. Dish that was my mum's. So, it's at least 50 years old. Probably, oh no, a lot longer, 60, 70 years old. And it's still going strong. You do realise that now I've said that, I'm going to drop it, aren't I? I've lined it with lightly oiled greaseproof paper, baking parchment, call it what you will, and just spread it. Some people like to add a pinch of salt. I don't find it necessary. cake waste. There we are. Right, so I will just spread it. Bit that got away. I think I'll sprinkle on a few more flax seeds. Why ever not? They can't lock me up for it, can they? Voila! I'll put timing and temperatures on the blurb underneath, and I'll say, see you soon when this is baked and ready for decoration. Thanks for joining me. And I'm back, and the tray bake is cooked. I'll put that down in a minute. And oh, I wish I could waft the smell through to you. It's partially cold, not fully cooled, so I'm just going to drizzle very haphazardly some of the sugar-free chocolate onto it. No patterns, nothing, just dribble, dribble, dribble. And I have stirred in just about half a teaspoon of oil to help keep it running free enough to drizzle. And I have to say that there will be no waste. The inner child in me will have to clean out the bowl thoroughly before it gets washed, if you see what I mean. I mean, am I the only one who used to love helping their mum to bake so that they could lick the spoon and scrape the bowl and lick the raw cake mix, biscuit mix, whatever? That was the best bit. Just like pinched bits of anything. If you pinch a chip off somebody, why does it always taste twice as good as when you have a full plate of chips to yourself? Mind you, I don't know when I last had a full plate of chips, but that's another story. Sad. I have had some sweet potato chips that I cooked in the oven. They only have, I only need to put about half a teaspoon of oil on, so as sweet potatoes are better for you than the white potatoes, I tell myself that I'm being good by doing that. Right, there we are, job done. I just need to let that dry, let this fully cool. So I will put this over again and say thank you for joining me. I'll put the ingredients listed underneath and the temperature and time of cooking as well. If you make one, enjoy, and if not, I wish you could come and have a coffee and sit and have a piece of this with me. Thank you for joining me. Take care. And now I'm going to lick the chocolate. Bye.